Well, I think at least for the rest of this year, they're going to have a tough year. I mean, just in July, in the last 10 days, we saw 3 bankruptcies here of major retailers: the paper company, Brooks Brothers, and Lucky Brands. So all kind of high-end brands. But since like the last 2 months, we've seen about 12 altogether bankruptcy protections. J.C. Crew, J.C. Penney, but they're always in bankruptcy. J.C. Penney, Lord and Taylor, and a couple of others. But overall, since January, we've had about 44 file for bankruptcy of major retailers. That's not counting the little retailers. So it's a tough year. But if you're e-commerce, it's a different story. We saw Walmart sales were up about 97% in America. And in China, where the coronavirus hit also, they were up 104%. And Target, which isn't known for their e-commerce, but because really of the virus, they had 70 million new downloads to their app for e-commerce, and their sales were up about 141% on e-commerce. So if you're in positioning yourself right, like Amazon, like Walmart, like Target, you'll do okay. And you'll do okay for Christmas, I think. And now people are already talking about Christmas. But I think if you're in the brick and mortar where you actually walk in, you'll have a problem. I think the retailers now will have to reorganize. I think who's going to be hurt are like Simon Properties that own these big malls, where some of these are what they call anchor stores like Marcus, Macy's. These guys may close for good and just go e-commerce. Because remember, the longer the economy was shut down, the more and more people used e-commerce. The more and more people went to Amazon, went to Walmart online, went to these big guys, and they saw their sales. They were rewarded for that. So I think as people get used to that, they're just going to be online doing this from now on. It's just so simple. And we all knew it was there, but now we're so used to doing it that it becomes a habit. And I think you're going to see that. Now, I worked, as you know, on the floor for years. I may never go back to the floor. We do everything with Hong Kong. I mean, I'm with a Hong Kong firm, SilverBear, and we're doing great. We're doing everything online. There's no need to spend $16,000 a month for rent down in lower Manhattan. I think that commercial real estate is going to be devastated because I'm just one small one, but I talk to most of my colleagues, and they're all thinking the same way. Why should we go back to New York? And the taxes. And a lot of people not only are moving out of the city, they're moving out of the area. They're moving to Indiana. One person's moving to Montana. So they're moving, you know. They're not just staying even like in Connecticut or New Jersey. They're getting out of the whole area. And I also think companies like Simon Properties, which own the big malls, they're going to be hurt. And I think commercial real estate in Manhattan is going to be devastated. I think especially in lower Manhattan, because remember, Wall Street was the fuel that fired up these big companies, and the tax revenue, they're all gone. And I don't know if it's going to come back ever, at least no time soon, that's for sure. But I'm not sure they'll ever come back, because now with technology, with these things right here, these little phones, I can do everything right from here. And it's much less pressure. It's a nicer environment, and we get everything done. We're just as the productivity is still here, still strong. So it's going to be interesting. But I guarantee in the next year, you're going to see retail stores try to scramble and reorganize like Walmart, Target, and Amazon does. But I think they're going to have a hard time. For most of them, they can't catch up. You bring up a good point. I mean, manufacturing number came out today. That was the highest level in over a year, 19 months. Service producers came out today. Excuse me, that was the highest in over 17 months. So yeah, the economy is getting back to really robust situation. We saw existing home sales up big. They were up 24% year over year. So people are out there buying houses, and so things are starting to move again. But I worry, like you mentioned, we have again over 1 million people unemployed. That's not good. And with all these major retailers closing, with Wall Street closing and shrinking down more or less, you wonder what the economy will look like for the average guy. I mean, yeah, we're going to have to buy paper towels and toilet paper and food. That's why places like Walmart and Amazon are going to do well. But I don't know how the rest of the economy is going to fare if we have 1 million people out of work. That's troubling, because it's not like they're on vacation. These stores may not come back at all. It may years before they come back. So we're going to have to watch that. But right now, if you're in the market, you're doing good. And I think you'll do good for the next 1 or 2 years. And again, like we were mentioning last week, I'm not really into politics. I'm business. That's what I care about. That's where my heart lies with business. But this election could be critical. I mean, and it's the Democrats want to raise taxes. And if they do that, that could stall the market. We've had not only good news out of the economy, but thanks to Trump cutting back on regulation and taxes, the economy really has flourished. I mean, it's just simple numbers. It's not being political at all. It's just simple numbers. But, they have Joe Biden now up by 4 or 5 points right now. But remember, they had Hillary Clinton up the day of the election. So we don't take polls too much on Wall Street. Ironically, we do take the polls out of Las Vegas. These are guys that gamble on their life, that put their real money up, and they do have Trump winning. But again, I think it's too early. Anything can happen in September. Now we got the Republicans have their virtual conference this week. We'll see how that goes. But I think it's kind of early. September's a real good feel. We'll know. They say the September surprise, a lot comes in. So I think we'll know in September a real good grip what it looks like. So in about a month, whoever we feel is leading them will probably be the winner. We'll see.